Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Women Like Me. I'm Julie Fairhurst. I'm the story coach and the founder of the Women Like Me book series. And today we're going to be talking to Tania. She wrote in book number 5, From Lost to Living, Women Like Me. And her title is, she's located in chapter 4 of the book. And her title is A Child of a Survivor of a Residential School. Do what you love what you do. And Tania Dashcavich, Tania Dashcavich, did I get that right?
Yes, you got it right.
Okay. Okay. So she's here with us now. I'm going to read a little bit about her bio, who she is, and then we're going to jump into Tania's story. Okay, so my name is Tania, and I am a member of the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation Treaty 8 territory. She is Cree. Her nationality is Cree, but she also is Ukrainian. So she's got a Ukrainian father. And that's a Ukrainian scarf. She just finished telling me about it. She was born and raised in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. My dad is Ukrainian and is from the city of Edmonton, and mother is Dene Cree from Fort Chipewyan. I have one sibling and one brother, or one sibling, and that is a brother. Tania is the mother of 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys, and she's the baba of 2 grandchildren. Did I pronounce Baba?
Yeah. Baba, Ukrainian.
And her granddaughter is 13 and her grandson is 10. And this is today, Tania lives in Fort Chipewyan, which is her mother's hometown. And you've been living there for about 37 years and works at the Athabasca Delta School, community school for helping hands, where they promote mental health and well-being. They hold classes and do community events, and it's all based on mental health, promoting and sharing awareness. Well, thank you, Tania, for being here. I'm so happy that you, not only did you write in the book, but you've agreed to come and talk with us. So I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, good. So why don't we start off by you telling all of us, why did you want to write your story in the book?
Well, the one that inspired me was my cousin, Michelle. She is my late uncle's daughter, and she wrote in this book.
That's number 4.
Michelle Voicer.
Yes.
So so she inspired me. So then it was like, I'm gonna share my story, because she gave me that courage to share mine. So that's why I was like, well, I'm gonna write my story and share a bit about loss and grief.
Yes, and you did a fantastic job. It's quite the story for sure. So why don't you start by telling us just a little bit about your mom, because your mom was taken away from her family home when she was young.
Yeah, so if you see right here, I have a picture of her on the wall.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
That is my mother. She passed away in 2019.
Oh.
So I'll share a little bit about her story. So there was 18 of them at one time, and then
brothers and sisters.
Yes. So there was 18 of them at one time, and they got taken away and put into the residential school here in Fort Chipewyan. So and then she got sick with.
So all 18 of them went to the residential school?
I think she said there was probably about 8 of them that went in there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. Okay.
Yeah. So when she went into residential school, she got sick with tuberculosis. And when she got sick with tuberculosis, she got sent to Charles Capsule Hospital in Edmonton. But she stayed there. She didn't get to come home. She went into foster care to the 60 Scoop. And then after that, she became of age. And when they become of age, well, they're out the door, right? So she came back to her hometown. She was probably 19 when she came back to Fort Chip. But then it was different now, right? So she went back to Edmonton. And then she worked for DWG. It was where you make blue jeans. Oh. So she worked in the factory. So this was probably in, probably the 60s.
Yeah.
So then she met my dad, I guess there was a bandstand, it was called, in Edmonton. But anyway,
Bandstand,
that's where
yeah.
they met.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
nice.
that's where they met. And then she
Oh,
married my dad and had me and my brother.
oh, nice. So Tanya, when your mom had tuberculosis and had to go to the hospital, why do you remember what her age would have been at that time?
Oh my, I'm thinking, because see, she never wanted to share her story. That's one
Hmm.
thing. It was her story. Like she even said she would have died not telling. But
Oh,
because I got sober,
yeah.
she came to the workshops with me. She came to Alcoholics Anonymous with me. So
Oh,
then she knew she needed to share. She needed to talk about it. She needed for us to know. So me, I know now. So
yes,
she never
yes,
really gave us the ages. She
right.
just said this is what happened to her.
Yeah.
This is what her life she had to endure. But she was a strong Dene, like she was Dene and Cree. She was one strong woman because she even lost her kidneys and she was on dialysis for 13,
Oh my
13
good.
years. She was
Oh
on
my,
dialysis. Yeah. So I
wow.
was her caregiver too for a while.
Oh, oh. So you don't, so I'm just wondering, in that phase of her life when she was sick and went from the school to the hospital, and then so why would they have sent her to foster care? Why wouldn't they have sent her home?
Because back in the day, it
Yeah,
was under the Indian INAC, I guess, back in the day.
yeah,
And they never, when they got sick and went into hospital,
yeah,
because they would have a social worker
yeah.
and because everybody knows how it went with the residential school, because it was
Right.
under the government. Well,
Yes.
no, she never did get to come home.
Oh,
So they
wow.
literally just put her into foster care.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. So, and then she met your dad though, so that's nice because you
Oh
had
yeah,
lots
she
of
met my dad.
you have wonderful things to say about your dad.
Oh yeah, well he's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
They came up. My baba, she was from Maner, so it was like I was raised Orthodox Catholic.
Yeah.
So that's so I was more learning the, I guess you could say the non-aboriginal way of upbringing.
Yes.
So but it was good. Like I have to
Yeah.
say we had so much good times because he took us camping, we went traveling, oh we went like everywhere. So
Oh,
he showed
oh.
us this life that even my mom never got to have, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it was very it was like memories that last forever.
Oh,
So yeah, so it's
nice.
close to my heart and I'm
Yes.
grateful for it.
Yes. Yes. Wow. And then, but unfortunately, your dad died young, right? He didn't.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died when I was 14. Yeah.
Oh, hard. And then your mom took that pretty hard too.
Yeah, because when he died, well, that was a piece of us gone, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
we all got affected. But
Yes,
see,
of
I didn't
course.
know about post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't know about a lot of the mental illnesses. I
Mhm.
was never talked about. They never shared it with us.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know that he was sick and he was like dying. So I didn't know.
Oh, oh. So it was quite a shock then when your dad passed on.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It
I'm
was
sorry.
it was
Oh,
uh it was like he was our world, right?
yes, of course, of course. I'm so sorry to hear that. I didn't realize it from even your story that you weren't aware, or maybe you wrote it and I just missed it. I'm not sure. Oh, well, I'm very sorry about that. But your life changed, unfortunately, after your dad passed away.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
sort of like on my own for how long?
yeah,
And then it
yeah,
was like trying to find just for myself to survive, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you say throughout your story and different relationships that you had is that you felt that you were possibly searching for just that feeling or that or trying to fill the loss of your father. through
Yes.
relationships with people that were not healthy.
Yep. So that's
Yeah.
why I filled the void in the most most negative way, I guess.
Well, you weren't the
But
first
I
woman.
yeah, so but I figured it out, but it took me a while. How many relationships later?
Yeah. Well, you
Like,
know,
hey, I
go ahead.
yeah, like hey, I say, you know, I thank them. I thank each of them because you know what? They left me with my kids,
Yep.
and my kids are my heart and my world today. So
Oh,
it's like I'm grateful for that.
yes.
As for them, well, they have their own lives. I have my own life now, and I
Yes.
think I'm doing pretty good now,
I
you know, and
I
I'm
think you're doing pretty,
grateful.
yes, absolutely. I think you're doing pretty good too. So you went through quite a turmoil time uh, in your younger years, like a lot of
Mhm.
turmoil. You were addicted with, were you addicted to drugs or just alcohol?
I was addicted to alcohol. So I'm a
Alcohol.
recovering alcoholic now. So it's been
Yeah.
12 years now I've been sober.
Oh, good for you. That's quite a
Yeah.
while. Good for you. Yeah. And so you had tried a couple of times to go for treatment.
Oh yeah, I went to 2 treatment centers, 2
Mhm.
healing camps, but
Yeah.
this last time I did it and I said to myself, I'm going to do it on my own. And
Yeah.
I searched. That's one
Yeah.
thing I have to say, when you really want it, you will find a way to stay
Yeah.
sober. And I did. I
Yeah.
stayed right here in Fort Chip and I just prayed on it. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, it's like God would bring a person, place, or thing in my path. And all of a sudden, there was a workshop, 2, 3 days, or there'd be traditional healers come in. And then I learned from them and I learned my native spirituality more and I understood more the spiritual
Yeah.
part because it
Yes.
does play a big part, Dicey.
Yes. Yes. And so that's so why did the first two times not really help much? Was it because you weren't necessarily ready or you weren't in the right place? Like
So
like
the first time I went to treatment, that was in 1990. It was to pawn makers, but I didn't do it for myself. I did it
uh
for my relationship. All
I
right.
see. I see.
So I
Yeah.
sort of I sort of tried to help him. And then on the second time, same thing, because that was when I went to Beaver Lake. And it was the same thing, another relationship. I was trying to help him. And
Yes.
then the other 2 camps that I went to, same thing. So it
Mm.
wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That's probably why it never worked, because I didn't do it for me. I was doing it to try to help someone else.
Yes, and I think that's the key is that you can't do it for someone else. You have to do it for yourself. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And your life and what you're at risk of losing and what you're going to gain being healthy. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a lot of struggle. So tell me a little bit more about the healing that helped you. So you had workshops and so the healers in your community, what how did they help you? In what
Well,
ways?
there's this place here. It's called Nooney's Wellness. So
Oh,
they always have workshops. So they have a lot of people. Don't forget, this is an isolated community that I live in. So
yes.
when they bring traditional healers or people that come in for traditional like teachings of medicine, they come from out. So then
Oh,
I would take the courses, I take the workshops, but they took us out on the land. So when we went out on the land, we would learn about the medicines, like the different medicines that was offered, that they
yeah,
would show us that we can use, right?
yeah, yeah,
So like for one medicine that I use for myself is diamond willow fungus. So I do smudge with sage,
yeah,
sweetgrass,
yeah.
and it helped me mentally, spiritually, that
Oh,
connection.
beautiful. I
Yeah,
think
so that's so that's
yeah,
where it helped me.
I think there's so like when you talk about that connection, and it sounds like from what you're telling me that connection with your culture and
Mhm.
and
Yep.
your past and I think that out in the world and not just your culture, but lots of cultures, we don't embrace anymore. You know, we don't put as much value in them maybe as we should, where our heritage comes from. And yeah, so that's wonderful that they were able to help you. Did your mom so your mom moved back with you?
Yeah, so my mom, she would come with me. So she
Ah.
was my number one supporter. So she'd like, because I'd tell her, well, you want to come to this workshop? This is who's doing it. This is what we're going to talk about. And she'd be like, okay, something to do, she said.
Right.
So then she would come. And then it was every time there was a workshop, I'd be, Mom, you want to come? Oh, now she was liking it, right? So now she's like, I want to come. I want to come. I want to come. I want to see. I want to see.
Oh,
so she started. So the healing journey between me and her, it was happening.
Yes.
Because it's like I shared, she wasn't going to share her story. She was not going to talk about the residential school. She wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
But then when we started talking and sharing, she started sharing more with me, and I started understanding more. And who was I?
Yes.
But she also found out who she was. Right?
Yes.
Because now we would smudge together and we would pick medicines together. So she started finding her identity also too, right?
Yes. Wow. And so was your mom able to connect with other family members when she came back? Because she was gone. She was gone.
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good.
So what had happened, because she married my dad, who was Ukrainian, she lost her treaty rights, right? So back in 86, she got her treaty rights back, because it was called Bill C-31 back in the day. So in 86, she got her rights back. Then they offered her a trailer here in Fort Chip.
Okay.
So she took the trailer. So when she came back in 86 now she had that relationship with her sisters, her brothers, her nieces, her nephews, her cousins. So now it was like she got to have those. It's just like I shared in the book, how important our roots are, because it's true. You need to know your identity from both sides, so then you understand more about where we come from, right?
Yes.
And she did. She did. Now she was like getting, like she found her family. She felt love again, you know?
Wow. Well, it sounds like your mom, it sounds like she, although she was sick towards at the end of her time with you, but it sounds like she quite enjoyed I don't know how long she was there, but it sounded like it was like she was home.
Oh yeah, she was home. And she even said that. She goes, I'm home now. And she even said when she was because we got sent to McMurray, and she was went into ICU. She even said, thank you. She said, thank you, my girl, for everything, because I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for you. And I told her, you're welcome, Mom. So that healing happened between me and her. And I knew she was going to go. Like I knew, because just her words, it was just like, and she said, I thank you. She goes, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm headed. And then she did say, don't forget, my girl. One thing promised me. And I told her, what's that? She said, don't forget you're an Indian. Don't ever forget. And I said, okay, Mom. I won't forget I'm an Indian.
That's wow. I think that's just beautiful. Wow. So in the book, you talk a lot about let go, let God.
Yes.
Is that a saying that helps you in times of trouble or stress, or what does that mean to you?
Okay, so I'll share with you, because remember, I didn't go to a treatment this time around. So for the first year, I had Alcoholics Anonymous in my home. And I had my one cousin, who is Kalinda, because Kalinda, she's in the book. She's my cousin also.
Oh,
So
okay.
her mother
Yeah.
helped me because she was also sober.
Yes.
So she helped me with Alcoholics Anonymous in my home because they didn't have it at the time here in Fort Chip. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. I said, oh yeah, why not? So for the first year, I did Alcoholics Anonymous in the home here, the 12 steps, all the slogans, especially let go, let God. That was my favorite. To this day, I use it because it's so true.
Yes. Yes. That's when you just feel powerless. So it's just let go and let God.
Yeah.
Not fighting.
I was powerless over alcohol. I was powerless over just that negative lifestyle, right?
Yes, yes.
So once I kept reminding myself, to even to this day, I still say it, just let go, let God, let him worry about it.
Yeah.
It's the way it's meant to be.
I love it. I love it. I think it's a fabulous saying. I do. I really like it. I just was reading too when I was looking over your story that, you saying now you know your identity. The sober road has helped you see and feel with a different heart. I love that sentence that you wrote. I think it's beautiful.
Yes.
But you say you lost a lot, but today you are learning your language, you drum, you sing, you make cabbage rolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love cabbage rolls. Yeah. And then you go on to say that change only comes from doing the work. So when you say that, or what work are you talking about? Are you talking about the inner work?
It's the inner work. Because it's true. Yeah, it's the inner work. Because once we change our own self from shedding those tears, crying, feeling, get angry, frustrated, write it on paper. Once you do all this work, and it's true, it's like you change. Because for me, I used to be angry. I used to be bitter. I used to be just like a bully, lateral violence, you name it. I was so angry with life in general, like everyone around me, even my own kids. I neglected my kids. I hurt my kids. But once I sobered up, started doing the work, saying to my own children, I'm sorry for what I put you through. Look at me now. Like, I have love now. I have compassion. I have empathy. I'm working at the school. I'm showing that love to these little kids, like these children, because they're the ones now I know that we need to literally help, and plant this little seed. And now we get to help them grow so they can have, because I do believe you got to lead by example. Like I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't change the way of my thinking, my heart,
Yeah. Oh, lovely. And now you're helping others. And I love what you said too about telling your children you were sorry.
Oh, yes. I had to. I knew, like for my mom, for the last week of her life, she said to me, I'm sorry. She goes, I'm sorry you took care of your dad. She said, I'm sorry that I drank and I neglected you and you went in a relationship at 15. She goes, I'm sorry. Like I got the sorry that I needed and she knew I needed. So now it helped me. So when I had to share with my kids, because the healing now it was like, I had to stop the cycle. So I knew I had to tell my kids, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I put you through this. I'm sorry I drank. I'm sorry you had to babysit. I'm sorry you had to take care of your younger siblings. I'm sorry, because I knew they needed it just like I needed it,
Yeah. And I think that having enough courage got to have courage, I think, to tell your kids your story and
Yeah.
to face up to what we have all done out there. But I see that as okay, it's like a let go, let God. I'm sorry. I can't change what happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's allowing them to say, to understand, and then to now they have forgiveness and they should be able to move on. It stops that block, I think, that emotional block that's out there. I think you're a very courageous lady, really, Tanya.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Thank you.
I do. So you say here towards the end of your story, you say, I believe this child of a survivor of a residential school is making a change using my voice, practicing my traditions, practicing my language, because this generation we can help.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Because we it's like I'm leading by example now.
Yes.
So it's like, I wear my ribbon skirt in the school. I wear my ribbon skirt in this community. So now these little girls and these little young children get to see, and and it's like their identity. So
Yes.
they know this
Yes.
is who you are too,
Yes. Yeah. No, I think that's just so beautiful. Yes. Yeah. And you say here at the very end, today I know my identity, who I am, and where I come from. This little girl has been reborn to love herself and respect herself. I now look in the mirror and see what I love. Oh, oh,
Yes.
beautiful.
I love what I see now. Other words,
Oh,
you know what? I didn't like pictures. I didn't like being on video.
ah,
Nothing. It was really hard. But now, because I have confidence within myself now, I
yes.
like what I see
Yeah.
because I love me now. I love
Yes.
that little girl. The little girl is growing and she's getting older every year. And because
Oh,
I believe 12
yeah.
years of sobriety, it's like I'm 12 years old again. So I'm
Yes.
learning, having
Yeah.
fun,
Yes.
enjoying life. I
Oh,
live in the moment.
yes. Oh, I think that's so beautiful. And so what do you hope by telling your story is going to do? So you're in the book, and this book, I know it's selling. We've got lots of people who are interested in it. So people are reading it. And so what do you hope the reader gets from reading your story?
Just to know that, you know what? We all go through it. It's like you're not alone. And
Yeah.
I know for everything I've been through that there is hope. There
Yeah.
is hope, and we
Yeah.
can change and we can love that person again, that
Yeah.
little girl or that little boy. So it's like, you know what? If I could do it, you could do it too.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's what I hope for people reading your story as well, is that it just really helps them to be able to let go and let God and move on and do the things that they need to do so that they can have a good life too. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I just appreciate you so much, and I appreciate you being willing to write in the book. And you did a great job. I mean, you were one of the first to get finished. You were just on it. You were just every day I get, oh my gosh, she's sending me more stuff. She's on it. So I appreciated that a lot. And I appreciated you doing it. So if anyone would like to read Tanya's story, it is in From Lost to Living, Women Like Me. This is our 5th volume, and it's on Amazon, or you can go to womenlikeme.com. I have books for or womenlikemestories.com. I've got books there as well. And you can, if you know Tanya, you can reach out to her and see if you can get a signed copy from her as well. So yeah, so we would love to be able to share Tanya's story with you. So anything you want to say to the world in closing, Tanya?
Oh, I just want to say thank you. And it was an honor. And I just want to say, you know what? Let go, let God.
Oh, thank you, Tanya. I love that. Well, thank you so much for doing this. We'll talk soon.
Yes, take care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.